right, welcome back. I am so excited for today's guest. This is my friend Karlyn, and I invited her to come on because I would love for her to share her transformation journey. But just a little bit of background on Karlyn. We met in Mexico over 2 years ago. We were introduced through a mutual friend of ours that we love. We love Jenny, don't we?
Oh my gosh, yes.
Yes. And she was like, "Oh, I know somebody in Mexico that I think that you would really enjoy meeting." And so we ended up meeting up and have, met up a few times while we were both in Mexico. And now Carlin's in Santa Fe, New Mexico. So still there's a Mexico in there.
No longer the old Mexico.
No longer the old Mexico. And she's gone on quite a journey. We have like something in common that I don't think most people would want to have this in common, but we've both lost a spouse suddenly. And that is quite the thing to get through and manage as we continue to navigate life and carry
Mhm.
on with things. And I've just admired Carlin's transformation in all the ways, the one that she did with me, but even as she's gone on her journey of honoring her late husband and what she does, the type of transformational work she does, and how she guides retreats. So I wanted her to come on and share her transformation experience, but also share some of the coaching work that she does. So welcome.
Thank you, Julie. And I think it's fun how Jenny, our mutual friend, like the three of us were yoga instructors at some point. So I love how we have the yogic connection too.
That too, I forgot about that. Yes, we all taught yoga at some point in the journey. But I mean, I still practice yoga, I just don't teach it.
Mhm.
Yeah. So I'd love to know, because you reached out to me, I guess maybe like 3, 4 months ago, and you were like, "Hey, I'm wanting to do this lifestyle transformation. I've been thinking about it." So kind of what inspired you to reach out?
Right. So just before summer, I was feeling like this craving to do. I didn't do quite the spring detox or kind of spring inner cleaning that I had intended. I did, my space and set up a different altar and like an energetic, but I felt like I needed something in the like my physical earthly vessel. And summer was approaching. I felt like I was approaching the 5-year death anniversary mark of my husband Cam, and I was just feeling so bogged down with the grief and the emotions, unlike any other year. It was honestly the hardest year. And I felt like doing some kind of internal reset would help me feel lighter and brighter and move through it, like move through the densities of those more challenging emotions, like with more ease. And like my body would be able to navigate kind of all of the planetary energy shifts that we're experiencing. So, as you know, our physical body takes longer to catch up to our energetic, like our mental, emotional, and spiritual bodies. So, I
Mhm.
really wanted to support my physical body also through this like energetic shift.
Yeah, yeah. And so did you have like, because I remember when we first spoke about it and I was like, well, it's 90 days. It's kind of meant as like a reset, and it would be ideal if you could give
Right.
up coffee and beer. And so what was your initial thought to that?
So, my initial thought was, I'm going to get through month one, like 30 days. And if I do that, awesome. Like that's all I really want to go for. Like a month reset. Here we go.
Yeah, I remember you saying that, and then you kind of like month one, and then you decided, okay, I'm going to do the month two, and then you're like, oh, I'm going to do then full 90 days. And I mean, through all of this, you were still hiking, you were doing all of your stuff that you normally do, so it didn't really seem to slow you down at all.
No, and I think that's what surprised me the most is that I think close to the end of month one, maybe even 3 weeks in, I was surprised that it was so much easier than I thought it would be. Like the food was just so nourishing. And yeah, I had to plan a little bit more logistically, especially when I did like car camping, pack the coolers, pack the drinks and the aminos and whatnot. But once you get into the rhythm of it, it just becomes, and you really hold that vision of, I'm just going to do it. I'm going to make it possible. And so I kind of felt, you know what? I think I'm going to make it all the way to 90. I'm not going to hold myself to that, but one goal at a time. But I remember telling people, I'm feeling so good. Don't know why I would stop it.
Mhm.
So, and that's kind of what kept me going is I'm feeling so good. Why would I give this up?
Yeah, exactly, exactly. And so on in terms of like some of the routines, because we're creatures of habit, how was it for you to kind of pause on the coffee for a bit?
Oh, honestly, coffee was the only challenging thing because I feel like I have such a ritual connection to it. And it was just like, well, we're going to do green tea and we're going to ritualize green tea and enjoy something different and really embrace like the experiment of it. Like, let's just put on that scientific observer hat and see like what will happen. Can I do this? Of course we can do it.
Yeah, yeah, it's a mindset thing too. And like, would you say like for you personally, it was also like there was a part of you that was curious to see what would happen?
Totally. I think that having that mindset of let's just see. Like when's the last time I've given up coffee for 90 days? How can I speak, anything about that because when's the last time I've done it? So, it was just kind of like, you won't know until you get there.
Yeah, yeah.
And
And
so
like
that's kind of fun when we embrace it with that curiosity because the ego will rear its head big time when we're doing big changes. And the two best antidotes for navigating the ego are curiosity and play. So if you just turn this into well, let's just play with this, let's just give this a go, the
mhm.
ego's not going to feel as threatened or, oh, we're going to do this forever now. It's just like, oh, let's just see, like for now, one day at a time, let's check it out.
Yeah, yeah. We're just gonna have fun with it, and if we don't like it, we can just go back if we want to, right?
Mhm.
So, I mean, what would you say to somebody who's contemplating a change in terms of their, because like this is the way that I like to share the transformation is it's really about adding in lots of micronutrient dense
Mm.
superfoods and not so much completely giving up on the other stuff, but just like bringing it down, because like even the way that I have people like your diet was really good to start out with, so that was amazing, but for a lot of people I say, okay, well, we're just going to start to reduce things, right?
Mhm.
And we'll add in the superfoods, and then we'll start to reduce the other things, and then see how you feel, and then try and go further. So what would you say to somebody who's like kind of on the fence and they're like, oh, I don't know, just seems like a lot?
That's a really good question. I think I would share with them instead of viewing it as, oh, I'm having to give up or I'm depriving myself of X, Y, and Z, really focus on what are you enriching yourself with and what are you nourishing yourself with. So, continue to find things that you truly love and enjoy because I did raw vegan for the 90 days while on the ultimate transformation. And I just focused on how much I love fruit and like, especially in the summertime, there's nothing more hydrating and like the electrolytes. And it just made me feel so alive. It cooled me off. And
Mhm.
so I found the things that I truly love. And I just supported myself more through those things or fresh, like vibrant salads
Yeah.
and yeah, just trying to view it as like, what are you gaining instead of like, what are you being like depriving of yourself?
Hang on one
Oh,
sec.
doggies.
Yeah, that's like we were talking just before this call started, just really where you focus your energy, like where focus goes, energy flows. So if you choose to be curious about it, if you choose to make it fun, if you choose to think about like, okay, what am I gonna get to add in and how is that gonna help me to feel better? It really changes your experience within all of it instead
Mm,
of like the negative aspect of it. Um,
absolutely.
so there's the nourishment side of it, but there's a detox side to this program. So there's the gut support, which removes chemicals and heavy metals from the gut and also helps to support repairing of the gut lining. And then there's also a parasite cleanse that you repeat twice over in this program. So how did you find the detox side of things? Like, did you deal with any detox symptoms or any other changes?
Nothing too major, honestly. I was a little bit surprised by that. I mean, I had a mostly clean, I eat quite healthily, but I do work at a brewery and there are temptations. And I would say the vibrancy that came from within, like it just kept propelling me. And I noticed I also do energy work. One of the energy modalities I use is Reiki. And I noticed I mean, it still is just like flowing out. If I go on a nature walk or a trail jog, I feel it like pulsing out of my palms, like I'm laser beaming the land with Reiki energy. That's the wildest thing. But it's like, oh, this is so cool. This is what it feels like to be just more kind of clear and crisp and cleaned
Mhm.
up from the inside.
Yeah, like there's no separation between like the intention and you know, the execution. I feel like that too, because I did like 111 days of juicing and superfoods, and I still feel, even though I'm back to bringing in some solid foods, like just like big salads and fruit, more or less. I also feel like that my intention is always so clear. So, for example, just yesterday or the last few days, a friend of mine, her daughter in law is pregnant or was pregnant, and she was past due, and they were going to induce her today. And the last few days, I've sent her a text message almost every day and said, okay, baby, question mark. And so a couple days ago, she sent me a message and she said, "Yeah, if she doesn't have the baby by Monday, they're going to induce her." I said to my friend, I said, "I will put a prayer into the universe." And literally yesterday, I was driving somewhere and I just thought of it, and I was like, "All right, baby needs to come today, please."
Mhm.
And I got a text from her this morning. She was like, "Baby arrived last night," and she gave me the exact time, 10, 11, 9 pounds. And I was like,
Wow,
"Thank you,
wonderful.
universe. Thank you, thank you, thank you." But that's like, ultimately the thing about these foods, these superfoods, is they're really meant to nourish at the cell level and help clean up the body, help alkalize the body. And the more open and alkaline we are, the more we can be clear with our intentions and really like use the power of our voice to speak things into existence, because we have the
Mhm,
ability to create. We're energetic beings that just, spiritual energetic beings that just happen to be having this physical experience. And most people have unfortunately forgotten their creation power, or they're using their creation power in such a negative way that they keep manifesting these not great things that they want in their life. And they're wondering, well, why does these not great things keep happening? Is because you keep talking about it. And then the
mhm,
physical body is also so dense and it's so bogged down by the additives, the preservatives, the garbage that's in the food system. And I mean, I happen to be having my green shake right now. But these are all regeneratively grown. It's literally the purest food on the planet. And when you put that into your vessel, it's amazing what happens, how the cells like literally light up. They're like bing, 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 It's
mhm.
exciting. Sorry, I'm a little high on my green juice right now.
No, I mean, it's so true.
Yeah.
It's so energizing, and you just feel like that awakening energy of like your cells just bursting with life, and it's a good
Mhm.
feeling.
And I love that you trusted me and you went on this journey. I love it when my friends reach out and they go, "Hey, I want to do that transformation thing that you've been talking about for 5 years." I'm like, "Yes, let's go." Because there's nothing more satisfying for me than to have a friend of mine go through this experience and experience the benefits from the superfoods and just feeling better and more
Mhm.
vital within themselves, because that's, I would love that for everyone, and I want it for my friends even more because I love my friends. Thankful to you that you went on this journey, and I just loved, like, celebrating your wins on the way, like, when you get to the 30 days, and then when you shared in the group what your experiences were, it's just amazing. I love it.
It's fantastic, and thanks for always planting the seed, and you had never I just wanna be clear, like, you never approached me on this or ever tried to, like, start up a conversation about, "Oh, Karlyn, have you ever considered," like, me just seeing you do your thing, like, over time and planting the seed, and then just I think we share similar values with animal rights and things like that, that it was just, like, a no-brainer. I knew who the go-to gal was for when, like, I was finally ready and, committed to doing a reset for myself.
Yeah, yeah. So before we close off, you lead these beautiful retreats. You led a retreat in South Africa recently with a group of women, and I love the work that you do. I get to witness
Thank
witness it
you.
from afar because obviously I see what you post on social media, and you have such a beautiful, I'm gonna try not to tear up, but I've admired how you've gone on the journey since the loss of your husband. It's okay. I'm gonna cry. It's not an easy thing to go through, and it's really hard to figure out life after when we lose a spouse, because are we, I know for myself, I thought my life was going to be this way, and then in a blink of an eye, it's that's not how it turned out. And it takes a tremendous amount of courage to continue on and to do something with yourself that's
Mhm.
positive. And I admire what you've done because
Mm.
you've so graciously shared your journey, and you've decided to really use it as a catalyst for improving yourself in all the ways. And you lead these beautiful retreats. So I would love for you to share what happens on those retreats and what's coming up and how people can reach out to you for them.
Oh, yeah, well, thank you. First of all, I received that, and I know you know because you've gone a similar journey in your own path. And yeah, so I was a wildlife conservation professional manager for more than 18 years. And after my husband's death, while we were living and working in Africa, in Zambia, just things cracked open, or I could no longer ignore or dismiss certain things that were cracking open. And I knew I could either shut down or I could use it as an opportunity to just, again, ask, what if, or, be curious just day by day and keep the heart open. And so over the last 5 years, um, the work I do now is called spiritual ecology. It's more than just the ecological work that I used to do in terms of relationships with, ourselves. We are nature and the world around us here in the earth three-dimensional plane, but also with the spirits of nature, the elements, ancestors of the lands. So I do some work that is also energetic or a little more on the esoteric, the unseen guiding forces. And it's been the most beautiful and powerful combination for me to get to use both the lessons of, wildlife and nature that are mirrored back to us, as well as tap into unseen support that is always there for us. So the retreats I lead I call them spiritual ecology retreats, and they have different focuses. So next May, I'll be leading a retreat back to Namibia called the Elementals of Spiritual Ecology. And then a year from this fall, I'll be guiding a retreat to Madagascar, another one of my favorite countries, where we'll actually undergo a rites of passage, so doing ceremonial work. So it's great for anyone who's going through a transition in life, whether it's a change in a relationship, loss of a relationship, job, geographical move, or could just be you're shifting out of an older past version of yourself and you're wanting to step into a new version of yourself. And so we work with the different energies. We also really connect with the wildlife and the land. We hike. We do a lot of somatic movement practices. And at the end of this retreat, we'll be on an island in the Indian Ocean, culminating with everyone completing their own personal ceremony. And then you'll have that tool for the rest of your life of how to guide yourself through a rites of passage or through a ceremony to mark any changes or transitions in your life. And you
Mm.
get to see phenomenal countries with, as a wildlife geek, and that's my biggest passion. I take you to some of my favorite places with the most incredible wildlife in the world and places that I know intimately. I don't go to new places. I just go to places already have a connection to and some intimacy with.
Nice. I love it. Oh my God. It sounds amazing. Sign me up for all of them.
You are so welcome to come along.
I would love it. Yeah, it's definitely percolating.
Mhm,
It's percolating in my mind. So that's amazing. Thank you. I just love how you've combined your passions and
mhm.
brought something so worthwhile to fruition. And I do hope that if anyone's watching this video and you feel called, like definitely reach out to Karlyn, ask her about her retreats. I don't, this is going to be posted on YouTube and on social media. So this video is going to go into the ether and, do its thing. So, even if you're watching this down the line, make sure that you reach out to her because she'll have other things going on, I'm sure.
Mhm.
Thank you so
Thank you
much
for
for
that.
being here. I just love talking to you. I love our
Mhm.
interactions. So anytime I get to talk to you, I'm like, okay, awesome. I get to talk to Karlyn.
Absolutely. Well, maybe at some point I'll host you on my Instagram, like do an IGTV live and get to showcase you and to my community as well.
Yeah, for sure. So, all right. Thanks, anybody who's watching this video. And of course, check the links for all the pertinent info. And thank you so much for taking the time to watch. And I'll see you on the next video. Bye for now.
Thank you.
Thanks so much for being here. I hope that you are enjoying the content on this channel. If you have not already done so, make sure that you subscribe and hit that notification bell so that you are notified every single time a new piece of content goes up. There is new content that goes up every single week. If you're not already a part of my online community, go to my website, sign up for my newsletter so that you are in the know. On my newsletter, I'll be sharing all kinds of promos and discounts as they come up. To work with me, check out my monthly membership, Elevate, which is really focused on addressing parasites and the root causes of chronic illness within the body. If you are interested in holistic health and well-being, you have definitely landed in the right place. Thanks so much for being here, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye for now.